This video was brought to you by our backers on Patreon, like Simon R. Find out more and support the channel by clicking the link below. Yesterday, British warship, the HMS Defender, was sailing through the Black Sea, and while it was making this voyage, a Russian patrol ship reportedly fired warning shots, while a jet dropped bombs in the path of the ship. This sounds a little crazy, right? Russians firing at a British ship. But what's happening is actually more interesting than that, and could increase tensions in an already difficult region. So let's explain that right now. We said that the HMS Defender was in the Black Sea, and that's absolutely true. But there's one detail that's key. The ship was passing within 19 kilometers of Crimea. Now, that distance is important because the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea dictates that a country has control over the waters extending 12 nautical miles or 22 kilometers from their coast, their so-called territorial waters. According to UN law, foreign boats, both military and civilian, are allowed to pass through these territorial waters without explicit permission from the state, as long as it's innocent passage. Essentially, no weapons, no threats, no information collection, no propaganda. If you're familiar with this area of the world, then you probably see where we're going already, because there's an ongoing dispute over who owns Crimea, and thus the territorial water that Britain passed through. The Crimean Peninsula can be found just off Ukraine, and the country has a territorial claim over the peninsula, one that's recognised by the United Nations and most countries around the world. One country who's less keen on this claim, well, you guessed it, Russia. In 2014, the country annexed Crimea, something that attracted condemnation from the international community and caused a rift to grow between Russia and the West, the shockwaves of which we're still feeling today. Anyway, as far as the Russians are concerned, they control Crimea, and therefore Britain entered their territorial waters without permission. And they claim that this was illegal because it wasn't innocent passage. Why? Well, according to them, the move was a nakedly aggressive attempt to undermine Russia's claim on the peninsula. As such, the Russian military says that they dropped bombs in the British warship's path and fired warning shots at it, as the signal that the ship wasn't welcome in the waters. I say according to the Russians because the British MOD deny this, insisting that there were no warning shots, and that the shots that were taken were part of a standard Russian exercise that they'd been warned about in advance. Who's telling the truth? Well, interestingly, a BBC reporter just happened to be aboard. Footage from defence correspondent Jonathan Beale shows that 20 planes flew overhead, and 2 Russian Coast Guard boats followed the ship at no further than 100 metres away. He also recorded hostile radio communication from Russia, reporting that the British crew actively prepared for conflict. This is an interesting disagreement, but the core dispute here is about the Russian claim, with Britain saying that they made a legitimate pass, taking the shortest and most efficient route, travelling through a Ukrainian traffic separation corridor, while Russia called it the HMS Provocateur. Ultimately then, not much of substance is set to come out of this interaction, but it is an increase of tensions. It suggests that countries like the UK, once discouraged from taking action, especially post-Iraq and Syria, are once again willing to take action against what they see as autocracies. That's not just the UK and Russia either, as you can expect to see this echoed around the world, with very similar things currently happening surrounding China's claims in the South China Sea. So you can expect territorial waters to become even more important in the years to come. As I said at the start, videos like this are made possible by our Patreon backers, and in return for their support, they get a whole variety of perks, from early access to videos, exclusive live events, merch discounts, and more. Find out what you can get and sign up by clicking the link in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video.